Sorry about the mess. Got a bunch of projects going on all at the same time. Lucky to find a place to sit down. Hey Kourtney, it's really great to finally meet you. Accidental Sailor Girl. I don't think you could get a better tagline than that. But you've been doing this a while now. Does it still sum you up? I mean, are you still an accidental sailor girl?
Accidental Sailor Girl is actually the name of my book. I started the book about 7 years ago. Probably 8 or 9 now, but it's been published since then. And it actually tells the story of how I accidentally became a sailor. I was pretty young, I was 19 at the time, and kind of getting out on my own, and it kind of all fell into place, sort of accidentally. And I'm not really an expert. I mean, you're always learning no matter what. So why single-handing? What does your wife and 4 kids think?
Well, the wife and all those kids and all those grandchildren. I think it's bye. No, seriously, single-handing is much easier than sailing with the crew. For one thing, all the responsibility is your own. The only person you have to worry about is yourself, which is a big deal, really. Most of the tension and the concern of running a manned yacht is other people. Will they be happy? Do they have the right foul weather gear? What are we going to feed them? Should we get a larger water maker? But one person can shove off for 30 days with a couple of lockers worth of food, 50 gallons of water. It'll take you for a month. It's a remarkably trouble-free experience if it has any appeal. You know, that boat you're on, it's a beautiful boat, but it can't possibly be a low-maintenance boat. And I know you do some of the work, so what do you like? What do you hate?
Norna was built in 1988. It was originally started in 78. It took 10 years to build the boat by a gentleman named Flemming Jorgensen in Denmark. I'm a weirdo. I like varnishing. I mean, some people don't like varnishing because it's a lot of effort, but I like it. I like, you know, when you get it done to bare wood and you put that nice clean coat of varnish on, it looks so pretty. A job I hate?
Okay, but just between us, wouldn't you really rather have a nice brand new Clorox bottle 48 with a gigantic bedroom and 2 walk-in closets and...
Would I rather? See, that's a hard question. Leak-wise, when it rains, yeah. Other than that, working on fiberglass, grinding, painting fiberglass, I don't know. Wood smells nice when you drill into it.
So when you invite somebody to go sailing on your boat, whole bunch perhaps, what do you tell them to expect? What's the briefing like?
On Norna, there are no winches aboard. It's all block and tackle and handy billies. So generally what happens is, for those who do sail on Norna, it's good to know that any line that you have to wrap it around a cleat, because there's nothing between you and the sail. So it's always good to wrap around a cleat, maybe even twice, depending on, you know, how strong the wind is. I guess what I would generally tell people going for a sail on Norna is there's a lot of back to it. When you invite guests out for a sail, what do you tell them to expect?
I don't tend to tell them not to fall overboard, because human beings are pretty good at not wanting to drown. I think I tell them most after the man overboard drill, as offhanded as possible, that the most interesting thing on a boat is falling through the companionway or down the companionway ladder or through an open hatch, especially with kids who climb all over the boat. And I think they should be allowed to climb all over the boat and swing like monkeys. That's what these boats are for. But a fall on board, especially down the companionway stairs, is a pretty serious thing. But yes, you do have to brief them about the throwable cushions. We all know living on a boat is close quarters. So how do you and Pete make it work?
Pete and I have lived together for 8 years now. We are used to each other's space. If we need a break, one person can go to the aft cabin, We've had our blowout fights. We've had moments where we were happy to be on the boat. So it just depends on the mood and the situation.
You must be famous by now, Kourtney. I mean, your YouTube videos are all over the place. So how's that work? Do you get recognized when you step ashore? How do you handle that?
Yeah, I've actually had a lot of various people I've met in port, I've met in the grocery store, I've met walking down the street. It's been really fun. There's the days where you're not in a good mood and you have to put on your smile because those people are expecting that, And other times it's been really fun, seeing people that recognize me and like they know your life because you are on the internet and you are on TV. So that's been kind of the interesting thing I've noticed, being a part of the YouTube community, which has been really, really fun to do.
Okay, all the sunsets, all the romance. What do you tell people when they come up to you and lean in real close and say, I really want to live on a yacht too?
The one thing I will say is it's hard. It is hard, and it's not for everyone. There are people who like it, and there are people who hate it. And not all the people who like it all the time, and vice versa.
Have you got an evening gown on board just in case? Just in case of what? I don't know. Maybe if the King of France invites you to dinner.
I do. I have a white dress. I've got this, which is my only tattoo. I'm scared of needles, so this is my tattoo, and this is permanent unless I cut it off, obviously. And jewelry, this is my jewelry. I always have scarves on me. The reason why I always do scarves is if it's hot out and really sunny out, I can take this scarf and I can put it on my head and I can hide from the sun, These are really good and handy to have, so I always have a scarf. I can tie my hair up with this scarf. So this is my jewelry, is scarves.
Ever think of single-handing someday? I mean, does that have any appeal at all, being alone on a boat?
I would say if I was single-handing, I'd probably do like a smaller boat. Something that I could go down the intercoastal with and camp out on the islands in the intercoastal or sleep in the little boat. To single-hand a boat like this, I couldn't do. I don't have the strength for it. You definitely need more than one person on Norna. She's definitely not a single-handed. Sailing alone, single-handing on your boat. What's it like?
Well, the actual offshore experience of single-handing is a little different from sailing on a crewed boat. Everything takes longer. The boat should be set up so that it's very easy to reef, for example. Roller furling's great for single-handers. I like a vane steering system myself, but you need some kind of really reliable autopilot system. And you need a gimbaled stove. As for sleeping, a lot is made of it, but if you think about what your life is at home, I know plenty of people who are up 3 or 4 times in the night at home just because the phone rings or the dog barks. Not all that different.
You have a new boat, I noticed. Why did you sell the Erickson 32 you sailed to Hawaii?
I have no idea why I sold the Erickson 32-3. It's a great length for a single-hander, anything around 30 feet. All the forces are smaller, the sails are smaller. But I had fixed it all up and I was sort of finished with the job, and I like working on boats too. So this Erickson 38, which is the same boat, just stretched in some kind of stretching machine. I'm now redoing all the things I did on the Erickson 32 to prepare it for an offshore passage. And I don't know what offshore passage that will be, but there'll be one.
How long do you think you'll keep cruising? Is there an age limit to that, do you think?
I used to do other things, and I aged out of them. Hang gliding, for example. I never was a good surfer, but I did a lot of windsurfing. Aged out exactly at age 50. Try water starting 25 knots when you're 50 and you realize you're no longer 25. But sailing, you can do for a long time. So I recommend getting old on a sailboat, which is why you should have an older sailboat. You two will be much the same, wearing out at exactly the same pace. And if you can fix a sailboat, maybe you can fix yourself.
Anyways, so that's that, and I just want to thank you, Christian, for inviting me to do this video Q&A.
Hey, Kourtney, it's been great talking to you, and if you ever get through the Panama Canal, stop by and see us.
And thank you to those who are watching. Have a good day.